Chlamydia Burns, Grace Randolph. She chimed in on this. And honestly, I would say she probably had the worst take of everyone. What do you think, Grace Randolph? She's thinking, she's like, how can I put this so it doesn't sound quite as stupid as I usually sound? Let's hear it.
Ren, I didn't put it as a chapter time, but I'll say it. I think I think Kylo Ren is such an incredibly popular character. And while Disney, for some reason, refuses to admit it, he's actually the only popular character that they created once they, you know, in the new trilogy, right? Like they keep pushing Rey, and you know, maybe some little girls do like Rey. You know, here's the thing: I'd like to like Rey. Like I love a female Jedi.
You know that Rey's a bad character when proud and mega feminist Grace Randolph doesn't even like her.
I think it's wonderful to have a female lead in Star Wars movies, but she's just like a really boring character. And
again, Grace, by the way, Grace doesn't know shit about Star Wars, right? She's the one who said that maybe, remember last year, maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi will be in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Remember that? She forgot that Obi-Wan Kenobi died in A New Hope. All these horrible takes. Said that George Lucas was bad at making Star Wars. That's another one that she said more recently. She needs to go back and rewatch the sequel trilogy and watch how Kylo, like that's the other thing. A lot of these people will even admit that Kylo Ren is horribly written, but they're like, oh, he's not as bad. He's not as bad as the rest of the characters. He's not as bad. He's interesting, yada, yada, yada. And he is arguably the worst written character of the sequel trilogy at the end of the day, in terms of character motivation and whether he's good or bad, who he chooses to kill, who he doesn't choose to kill. He's constantly flip-flopping. He's arguably the worst written character in the sequel trilogy. I'd still give it to Rey, but he's not that far behind.
No offense to Daisy Ridley, who I think is a wonderful, very charismatic, likable actress. But Kylo Ren was the sauce, right? I mean, think about it.
Kylo Ren was the sauce, baby. Kylo Ren was the sauce.
He, you know, we had that ridiculous shirtless scene where everybody was like, what's happening? But I can't look away. That wonderful
Gracie, by the way, chat, Gracie, huge Reylo supporter.
More, you know, gif that has become iconic. And then, of course, the wonderful sketches that he did on Saturday Night Live. You know, every once in a while, I will go back and watch Undercover Boss Starkiller.
That's so fucking stupid.
Base. It was just so fantastic. So Kylo Ren is a great character. And, you know, a lot of us thought that...
Because Grace Randolph says so. And she knows Star Wars.
Adam Driver had run for the hills. As soon as he was done with his trilogy, he was like, get me out of here. But now, you know, a lot of actors, when they're doing press tours for their smaller films, you know, one for them, one for you. When they were promoting, like, people are like, bring back Wanda, bring back money. It's so weird. Like, people are like, bring back Wanda, bring back Kylo Ren. And Disney's like, no, you know, and you're just like, why not? These are the characters that we actually want. So he said, I love being Kylo Ren Ben Solo. I think the character is wonderful, and I would love to return. And in fact, he says,
I think this movie not happening may have saved Adam Driver's career, by the way. Okay, next clip.
Stuck-up personality. That's hilarious. But Loki's very popular. So yes, that's right. It was a Kylo Ren redemption arc. He wanted to morph from Kylo Ren back into Ben Solo.
Didn't he already do that?
I think that would have been just really fantastic. I mean, in the poetry of it, you know, his grandpapa, to follow in his footsteps, you know, to follow him to being saved. You know, Darth Vader was eventually saved as well. He's a happy Force ghost these days. So I think that was a really nice idea, while still giving us the cool, sweet Kylo Ren lightsaber action that we all know and love.
What? What? I don't recall any good lightsaber action. Maybe that's not the saber that she's talking about, but I don't seem to recall any.
Daisy Ridley's Rey. Because what about the Force dyad? The coolest thing to
Raylo.
come out of the other coolest thing to come out of the trilogy. I remember watching Rise of Skywalker being like, oh yes, and by the way, I too was a Raylo shipper.
Oh
I was
my
like, I
God.
sense the chemistry between these two, and it is strong. I mean, I was all for them being together.
Damn hard.
I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. And so for those reasons, Rise of the Skywalker wasn't horrible. So yes,
She wants Raylo. She wants Raylo. Chat.
so it was revealed that they were actually a Force dyad, but then also in the Last Jedi, they had this. They had this, you know, when they started to be a Force dyad.
Is she about to use this duel from The Last Jedi as a positive example? One of the worst choreographed fights in Disney Star Wars?
That's a beautiful shot. Rian Johnson doesn't get enough credit for that. This is from
Wow, Gracie, you need to go watch Robots Heads and several others' video dissecting this fight, because the Red Snoke's guard, their weapons literally vanish from their hands in the middle of this fight. God, this woman is so stupid.
The Last Jedi, right? But look at that. No, maybe it was from. I think this was from The Last Jedi. I like.
She doesn't even remember what movie this is from. She doesn't even remember which movie this is from.
Shot. Rian Johnson doesn't get enough credit for that. This is from The Last Jedi, right? But look at that. No, maybe it was from. I think this was from The Last Jedi. I liked The Last Jedi. I gave it a good review.
Oh, you did, Grace. You did. You said it was the best Star Wars movie. That video is on the channel. Disney Star Wars shows defend The Last Jedi. That video is on the channel. Go check it out.
Dern sliced through that starship. Loved it. Loved
the Holdo maneuver, even though it completely breaks canon. The Holdo maneuver, which completely breaks canon, loved it.
Dern sliced through that starship. Loved it. Loved it so much. I thought the movie was really interesting. Although I love to deconstruct things, and I also have.
Brace yourselves, chat. Any Luke Skywalker fans in the house? Brace yourselves for this. What the fuck is that face?
I thought the movie was really interesting. Although I love to deconstruct things, and I also have zero respect for Luke Skywalker. He's always been a whiny crybaby, in my opinion. So I wasn't upset when they were saying bad stuff about him. I was like, tracks for me. But like
translation. She supported The Last Jedi and their deconstruction of the Luke Skywalker character. Gracie supports the direction they took in Luke Skywalker in destroying his character. And he was always a crybaby. No, she said she didn't say he was a crybaby in the sequel trilogy, which I would agree with that sentiment. He was always a whiny crybaby bitch, even in the original trilogy. So when Luke was destroying the Death Star, he was a whiny crybaby when he was doing that. When he saved Leia multiple times, he was a whiny crybaby. When he faced Darth Vader and the Emperor on the Death Star, on the second Death Star, he was a whiny crybaby. What a piece of shit.
The Luke Skywalker people got really upset about that. So anyway, though.
Yeah, the Luke Skywalker people got really... Grace, those are called real Star Wars fans. Real Star Wars fans get upset when you come and say shit like that.
I wasn't upset when they were saying bad stuff about him. I was like, tracks for me. But like the Luke Skywalker people got really upset about that. So
I wonder why.
All the Palpatine stuff for. He literally reanimated his dead corpse And then even Oscar Isaac could barely say the line of somehow Palpatine has returned. It's become a meme because it was so dumb. And
but you support, yes, because it was so dumb, but you support Ben Solo coming back, right? That is just as dumb. Idiot.
I think my guess would be that there was such a bad reaction to Palpatine coming back that they were concerned that it would be a similar situation. But you have to understand, the brilliance of Kylo Ren is that he very much represents the Star Wars fan today, right?
I think this is 100% projection here, what she's about to say.
Very much represents the Star Wars fan today, right? What is maybe labeled as toxic masculinity, but is actually just a man in pain, okay?
So Gracie is saying that the men in the Star Wars fandom are men in pain. And they're toxic. Yes, and that's why she wants Kylo Ren back, or that's why we should all support Kylo Ren coming back. I don't know what she's even talking about.
Right? Like, oh, he seems like he's a real problem, but if you get to know him, you can understand that he's actually not so bad. And so I think that's one of the reasons the characters connected. And then they made him pretty like, he's got that special something. So he appeals to everybody. You know, Adam Driver is really well cast for that reason. That's
How does he appeal to everybody? Like they use the fact that he's conflicted. The fact that he's conflicted, and that just makes him automatically a great character.